that God was able to make and to make him the leader at that point in time. He's fondly remembered for having promoted and fostered the East African community. He's amongst the leaders of East African community who promoted the community with his strength and ability. So we thank him. Number two, you remember he came to power after a bitter politics in Kenya of violence. But he was able to calm down the country, unite the country. And lastly, his time when it came, he handed over power peacefully against the temptation of the day where it was so fashionable for the African leaders to tinker with the constitution, to change the term limits, to change the age limit. Mzee Kibaki didn't yield to that temptation. He lived his terms, he served 2 terms and handed over power peacefully.
We have lost a giant in the names of Mike Kibaki. He will be recalled for revival of the economy of Kenya from 0.6% to 7% during his first term in the office as the president. But also infrastructure development. He was a man behind the infrastructure development of Kenya. If you have moved to Kenya, you will realize how we struggled to construct the Thika superhighway, which is a very good highway which links with the industrial park, but also to give opportunity to children to go to school. The introduction of free education to Kenya, which helped more than 1 million children to access education.
His example as a leader was one good example we could learn from, that actually you can allow the law to exist. But in Uganda, whenever there's a limitation, they purport to change the law. This is not acceptable within our legislative framework and our constitutional framework. So Kibaki left quite a sizable legacy, much as his descent to power was questionable, but at least he has shown that at one stage he conceded to defeat and lived as a civilian up to the time of his death. Borrowing an example, for example, in Zambia, we visited Zambia and you could find